Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Graveyard Guys. It's me, Mikey.
And Wes.
We are here officially with episode 1 of Graveyard Guys, which means this is episode A. If you remember from my intro video, we're going to be doing things in alphabetical order because I have OCD and also because I thought it'd be fun to look at the local legends and whatever of cities that start with A. We'll be going through 2. One will be Texas-centered, and the other one is just going to be a random city somewhere that we see as haunted. So, welcome back. We hope everybody had a super awesome, spooky time. Wes made me go get ramen with him before this, so if I'm a little sluggish, it's because Goldilocks had her soup and is ready for a nap.
I feel that. I got ramen all over my t-shirt. I'm wearing a hoodie because of it, and I am also sluggish, so
Yeah.
great start.
He also embarrassed me in the elevator.
You embarrassed me in the elevator.
A very attractive man.
I didn't embarrass you. I was a bystander.
We were trying to figure out if it was called the labia minora or the labia majora.
No, I think those are both.
I don't know.
There's
a reason why we don't know everybody.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, this is episode 1, part A. So, yes, today, Wes is going to go over
Austin, Texas.
And I'm going over Athens, Ohio.
All right, so there are a few haunted locations in Austin. One of them is in this abandoned red light district in Austin, so like on 6th Street. Not abandoned. It's not abandoned right now, but it used to be the red light district in Austin, Texas. But before I get into that, I wanted to talk about like a few cryptids that were in the area, a few like alien spottings. So I mean, there's like a goat man like in like most cities in the U.S., definitely in Austin. Chupacabra, obviously, because we're in Texas, right next to Mexico. Then there's... Yep. Yeah. What the fuck? Then there's also a little, like, sea creature in Lake Travis, apparently, called the Lake Travis Monster. There have been alien sightings. There's a 1968 UFO sighting, and then there were the Austin Lights, which may or may not have been connected to the Marfa Lights in Marfa, Texas. So, and that was around the 2000s. But this I'm going to be talking about is in the former red light district in Austin, Texas, known as the First Ward. Also called Guytown, basically where they did drugs and alcohols and, you know, sleazy stuff like that. There was this one lady who was running a brothel there, and she got arrested, and she's like, you know what, I'm going to tell you guys who all of my clients are. And all of her clients were like wealthy businessmen, and they did not like that. So that's pretty much how the vibe was in Guytown, in Austin, Texas. But one location is the Clay Pit, which is an Indian restaurant. I've literally eaten there twice. It's really good. Underneath the building is actually a network of underground tunnels. So in these tunnels, they had molasses, they had wine, they even had the Texas State Treasury. So they had like gold and stuff underneath there. But Bertram's son, and then there's a murdered sex worker who are known to haunt the Clay Pit and the Bertram building. So, you know, back in the day, as one does, Bertram lost 5 of his kids. Because, you know, if you weren't losing a kid, then you weren't living life in the 1800s. But his last child died of typhoid. And he died on the 2nd floor of the building. And so some people see him peeking through corners and waving, and they kind of feel like this presence of being watched by multiple people when they walk into a room. And then they have a feeling that this is from Bertram himself, just like watching you. And then there are sounds of like groups from the room over, like they hear like a partying, you know, like people having like a good time in another room, and then they walk in there, it's completely empty. And then the sex worker, she's called the Scarlet Lady. She was murdered in the basement. So when you go to the Clay Pit, they have this area where you can go downstairs, and it's kind of like almost like dome shaped, I think, and it's made of stone. But she was murdered in the basement. I don't know if it's that exact basement, but that's just what I was thinking of whenever I was hearing this. Another location is the Driscoll Hotel. So it was bought in 1884, built in 1886. It's a Romanesque revival structure. The hotel was built with blood money. I just hit my face. Because Jesse Driscoll, he sold beef to the Confederate Army. Bless his heart. And he became rich. And he was one of the richest men in Texas. So fun fact, LBJ actually had his first date there with Lady Bird Johnson.
At the Driscoll?
Yeah, at the Driscoll.
It's also a very expensive hotel if you're ever in Austin.
I've never been in there. I feel like I would burn up and die because I'm poor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have that problem. But
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, of course, yeah. Rolls Royce.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the ghosts is Jesse himself. So he actually lost ownership of the hotel like shortly after opening it because he was in a lot of debt, and he literally was like, "Well, I'll put the deed on the table," and he lost it because he had no money. So he was putting his deed on the table in order to try to win something. But his ghost can be seen like standing in people's rooms, smoking a cigar at 3 a.m, the witching hour, and then he just disappears in a cloud of smoke. And then another ghost is a child. So there's a kid that fell down the stairs after reaching for a ball, and now he can be heard like giggling and bouncing a little ball against the wall.
Well, that sounds fake because he's dead, so he wouldn't laugh. And he didn't get the ball before he died, so how does he have the ball in death?
Yeah, he's not having a fun time, and he definitely does not have that ball.
So, fake news.
Fake news.
Debunked here on the
I
episode.
love perpetuating fake news here. So.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's also a painting of this Temple Lee Houston's daughter in the hotel. People say that they feel a presence when they walk past it. It's just like, I get a weird vibe from that. That kind of thing. Then they also say that LBJ and Lady Bird Johnson are both in the hotel too. If you know, Lady Bird is the woman that Lady Bird Lake is named after, and she also was in charge of this beautification process in Texas to put wildflowers on the
highways,
highways,
the medians.
That's why there's
That's why you see bluebonnets
wildflowers.
And Indian paintbrushes, I believe is what they're called.
brown-eyed Susans and all of those wildflowers.
Yeah.
And they can sometimes be seen dancing. Not the flowers aren't dancing, but LBJ and his wife have been seen dancing in the ballroom. But
Aww.
those two locations.
Well, that's not very scary.
Well, I'm sorry. It's a slow burn. A slow burn. It's more romantic. It's more like... Huh?
Sorry, someone's playing footsie with me down here.
I'm not playing footsie with you.
Is it my turn yet?
Yeah, it's your turn. Go ahead. And now it's time for someplace in Ohio.
I have 2 follow-up questions.
Yes, ma'am.
1, what does the Lake Travis Monster look like?
I think it looks like... I'm going to say it looks like a Nessie kind of type of monster.
Like a dinosaur, basically.
Yeah. And next question, ma'am?
Have you ever been in a situation where you had that feeling in your body like, this is not good, I need to get out of here?
Like someone's behind me or watching me?
No, just like bad vibes. So you know how you say when they look at that painting, they're like, I shouldn't be here.
Yeah, like an uneasiness. Yeah, I definitely have had that feeling before. Most of the time it's like when it's dark. I'm not scared of the dark or anything, but it just makes me want to run, like run away. Like when I was younger, like just turn off all the lights and just dart to my bedroom and just get to my bed,
Well,
I could be scared.
anyways, so we'll be moving a little up north to Athens, Ohio, which I was actually surprised that Athens, Ohio is very creepy. It's been ranked as one of the most haunted cities in America. It was on the 2000 series Scariest Places on Earth. But There's a couple of stories, but interestingly, they are connected. So, just to give you a little summary of the headlines for the different stories, there's The Ridges, which is Athens Lunatic Asylum. That's what it was referred to as. I'm not perpetuating that statement. Had a tragic history and paranormal activities been reported there. The Wilson Hall at Ohio University. There's cursed dorm rooms and ghostly legends. And what kind of connects these stories is there's a collection of cemeteries that, when connected, make a pentagram. So, to go a little bit into detail, I'm looking at athensnews.com. That kind of goes into some more information. So, the cemeteries in question that make a pentagram are Sims, Hanning, Cuckler, Higgins, and Zion cemeteries, though many other graveyards may be prime suspects too as points in the pentagram. Those are the ones that are believed that basically kind of create this vortex in the pentagram where spooky things have been happening for generations of the Ohio University students. According to the article, it says maybe it wasn't a good idea to build the residence hall over a cemetery from Athens Mental Institution. Everyone's heard stories about how the fourth floor is said to be haunted, lights go on and off, doors suddenly closing. According to many newspaper accounts published over the years, a student living in the dorm was said to have died violently after engaging in occult ritual sometime in the 1970s. That's creepy. It's scarier than your Lady Bird Johnson story. Just kidding. But I just thought it was interesting that, considering how haunted, like, I don't even know why I looked up Athens, Ohio. I think I first looked up, like, cities that start with A, and it was the first one. I was like, well, let's just see what's haunted in Athens. And, like, a lot of reports were coming up of the same things. So I was like, okay, this is actually kind of cool. Because, every city, especially a bigger city, has, like, different reports from, like, all different types of, like, Austin's a big city and there's a lot of different hauntings and stuff. But this seems to be a lot of reports about related stuff. So I think it's really creepy. I know there's people out there that say the pentagram actually isn't evil. It's like a, what's it called? A pagan thing that came before, like, Satanism or whatever, but it's still creepy. And that's what this podcast is about.
So, like, was it built with the intention to look like a pentagram, or did it just happen?
I don't think
be
so.
Like that?
I don't think the
like,
city planner was like, you know what?
What kind of Satanist is working on that city planning? I'm clutching my pearls.
Yeah, it's like, this will be fun. Those are our two cities featured in A. We also want to highlight from Cryptozoology A to Z by Lauren Coleman and Jerome Clark, the Encyclopedia of Loch Monsters, Sasquatch, Chupacabras, and Other Authentic Mysteries of Nature. Cryptozoology comes from the Greek word kryptos, which means hidden, zoon, which means animal, and logia, which means study. So it's the study of hidden animals, basically animals that people believe are real that have not been proven by science. Not sure if we've discussed this before, but there's legit instances where animals are believed to exist that are not reported, and they end up becoming true. Like black swans were originally thought to just be folklore, and as we all know, they're real. I believe pygmy hippos were also something that people thought were fake, and then it's like, nope, it's real. We have a pygmy hippo celebrity named whatever her name is, with the bad attitude.
Mudang? Yeah.
Yes. So, of course, with A, you're going to get Abominable Snowman, all that stuff. Everybody pretty much knows about them. But I wanted to talk about the Ahoo. Ahool. In 1925, Dr. Ernest Bartels, son of the noted ornithologist, discovered many new bird species in Java. He was exploring a waterfall on the slopes of the Salic Mountains when a giant unknown bat, the Ahool, flew over his head. Named after its call, a long ahoo. This as yet catalogued bat was, according to cryptozoologist Ivan Sanderson still reported from time to time. So basically, in the country of Java, wherever that is, there's a huge bat. The Ahoo looks like a huge bat in flight, larger than any known flying fox, which is those really cute big bats. The Ahoo, however, is a fish eater. It allegedly uses its enormous claws situated on top of the forearms, which are part of the wings, to capture large fish from the rivers it lives near. That doesn't sound efficient if you're fishing, because if your hands are up here on top of your wing, you have to get real close to the water. Sanderson thought the Ahoo was an oriental form of the giant unknown bat he had seen in Africa, known most popularly as the Congomado. Although he knew the Congomado as the Olitio, Sanderson felt the Ahoo, like the Olitiotu or the Congomado, was an unknown bat related to the species Microcarpo. So this goes into the science of what those actually are, because it's a big bat.
When you were doing that noise, that ow, I was thinking like Cynthia Erivo when she's like, "That's my line," and she's like, "Wah, wah, wah." You know that Target ad?
I haven't seen that movie or cartoon or whatever you're talking about.
You know who Cynthia is, right?
Yeah, no, I mean not cartoon. I haven't seen that commercial. Okay. I know it's from Wicked, but I don't. Yeah. I haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen the.
You haven't seen the
ad.
movie?
No, it's very long. But the last thing that we want to do is highlight a book. I'm a huge horror book nerd. This is the best time to do it. So I actually purchased from the TikTok shop signed copies of, it's called Wist, W-I-S-T, by Steve M. Robertson. He is an author. These are graphic novels. They're available on TikTok. I haven't read them yet, but I bought them because they actually look legit. And it's a graphic novel with like really cool illustrations, and they are horror.
Oh, I like that.
So definitely go check them out. When I finish them, I'll give more details on how it went. But like, look how good this is. Like the art's just, it's great. Mwah. And graphic novels take not a lot of time at all to finish. So support local authors and support books, support cryptozoology, support us by, how can they support us, Wes?
By following us on Instagram, Graveyard Guys Pod, right? Graveyard Guys Pod? Yeah. You can also follow us on YouTube.
Yes.
Yes.
Graveyard Guys Pod.
And then you can follow Mikey at
Horror and a Half Shell on Instagram.
Yeah, that's what it is. And me at wesley.cool.guy.
Yes, and if you have any stories about any of your experiences, paranormal, cryptid, whatever, email them to us, please, at... sorry, the ghost doesn't want us to be talking about this. graveyardguyspod@gmail.com.
Yup.
Now, with all that said and done, the Graveyard Guys want to say, graveyard out, bitches.
Graveyard out, bitches.
I don't know.
We'll think of something.
No, I like it.
Oh, that's
just
it?
kidding. Maybe.
Okay.
Oh, someone's looking. Okay. Well, bye, everyone.
Bye.
See you next episode. Cut.
Okay, now we can go back to hating each other.
Yeah.